Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. As you know, there is the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum held by Russia, where you have business leaders, some politicians, leaders, global leaders, personalities that are invited, and the mass media ask questions, answer questions, discuss all kind of geopolitical strategies, and blah blah blah. Nevertheless, it was Putin's turn to talk, to be on the stage, and tell us his side of the story and answer questions. Now we have a very interesting article here. It's he said this a few times already, but not like this. So this comes from Ukrainska Pravda from June 17th, 2022, and this is the title. Putin claims that war against Ukraine complies with international law. Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed that the legal side of Russia's war against Ukraine, which he calls a special operation, fully complies with international law. Source: Putin in a speech at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, reports by RBC, video from TASS and RIA Novosti. All right, RIA Novosti. Details. According to Putin, the legal side of the special operation in Ukraine fully complies with international law. When a territory is separated from a state, it is not necessary to ask permission from the central authorities, the Russian president said, recalling the ruling of the United Nations International Court of Justice on Kosovo. What are you going to do about it? So, I'm saying again, when a territory is separated from a state, it is not necessary to ask permission from the central authorities. And he recalling the ruling of the UN International Court of Justice on Kosovo. This is what those guys said when it was in their benefit about Kosovo. But now this is not in their benefit, so there you have, it doesn't work that way. So let's see, let's go further, right? And I'm quoting, in this case, the republics of Donbass did not have to ask permission from the Kiev authorities. They declared their independence. In this regard, did we have the right to recognize them or not? Of course we did. We did that. We signed a mutual assistance agreement with them, and in accordance with this agreement, as well as with Article 151 of the UN Charter, we provide them with military assistance. All right? We might dislike what he says, but obviously there are some details, and that's their view, that's their take on this. All right, let's move on. Did we have the right? He continues. Did we have the right? We did, in full compliance with the UN Charter. Whether people like it or not, we did it ourselves and set a precedent. Therefore, our actions are absolutely legitimate. End of quote. More details. He also said that military action is always a tragedy. However, the Russian president once again called the war a necessary measure, end quote. And now I have the direct quote. Let's pay attention, very important. Whatever pro-Western governments there were in Ukraine, we worked normally with all of them. There was Yushchenko, Timoshenko. They are totally pro-Western. The so-called civilizational choice. What the hell is civilizational choice? They stole money from the Ukrainian people and stashed it in banks, and they want to protect it, end quote. And now, when you read this kind of article, the end paragraph or two, is to cover and destroy everything what they, or the person they reported on said. Because the human brain remembers the beginning of a story and the end, or the end, mostly the end. Shoot the dog. No, so it's the beginning and the end of the story. So there you have it. They're now going to try, and I pointed out this before, they will try to cover for whatever they want to send, what message they want to send. And they will not start from the beginning till the end chronologically, because that will not make their case. They will pick and choose this, they will ignore this, they will pick this, ignore this, pick this, ignore this. I'm not saying Putin did not do that either here. He just made his point by pointing out what are the basis of them acting according to law. Now, let's see what these guys, for reference, that means this is what you should take. Forget about it. This is what you take. For reference, this person who wrote this, in Ukrainska Pravda, we don't know who the author was, tells us this, that since 2014, Russia has illegally annexed Ukrainian Crimea. That's not the beginning. From the very beginning, I know that this person covers for Ukraine, but it's Ukrainska Pravda. So they don't start with the beginning. They start with a little bit, with a consequence of an event that resulted in the annexation of Crimea. Can you point it? Can you point it? Can you point it? Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. That is the overthrow of a legitimate, democratically elected government in Kiev by some inside forces, plus with the help of outside other countries, foreign agencies intervention. Okay? So that's the beginning. Now, because of that, what did the new authorities, which were illegal, it was illegitimate, what did they do? Next step, did they do anything towards the Russians in the east? Well, they did. What did they do then? They say, you know what? I think we want to be a little bit more autonomous, want some autonomy here. And they sent tanks over there. Remember Kosovo? Remember Yugoslavia? All right, then make a parallel between the two. And then started shooting at them, their own people. And then what did the Russians do? Then is the Crimea, when the Russians said, wait a second, you don't kill our people. In Crimea is 94 Russians living over, or something like that. You don't kill them, we're going to protect them. They stopped it and say, okay, now we're going to have here referendum, and you guys choose. The Ukrainians did not attack, and that's what happened. So that's when these guys are starting from that, and they say, wait a second, they illegally annexed it. No, they voted, they made referendum to be independent and to be part of Russia. There's two of them. Two referendums were made, and they were not recognized by the Western countries, but were recognized by Russia and others. What about Kosovo? Did they do the same thing? Just check it out if they did the same thing, the same way. So you see, they started with 2014, illegally annexed. Illegally what? They voted self-determination 2 times. So illegally annexed Ukrainian Crimea, as well as conducting hybrid aggression and fighting in Donbass through its through its proxies. At the same time, Russia did not admit to being a party to the conflict, and instead that there was no Russian military personnel in Donbass. And then they jump right to current events on the February 24, 2022, launch open full-scale, blah, 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 blah. Now, between 2014 and 2022, these guys do not mention that the Ukrainian military killed about between 10 and 15,000 Russians in the eastern Ukraine, which the Russians are calling genocide. They did not mention that. But I mentioned that because I just want to make the record a little bit straighter, if you know what I mean. So this is what is going on here with Putin. I'm not saying that they're saints, and I'm not starting by discussing like an absolute. Oh, I'm not saying he's a saint. No, nobody's a saint. Nobody's a saint. But I don't think Russia is doing anything regarding Crimea, and compare it with Kosovo. That's what I mean. Compare that with Kosovo. It was an independent, sovereign country, and was bombarded by a defensive alliance illegally. Illegally. Anybody charged with war crimes because of that? No. They're still alive. They're still alive and happy and revered. Clinton is right there. Should he be? He attacked a country without a declaration of war, illegally, without the UN approval. That's illegal right there. If you attack something, if you do something like that, that turns you in a certain kind of, how do you call it? They called Putin a war criminal. So check it out. It's, you know what I mean? And then they say, well, they recognize Kosovo. But these guys, no, they Crimea, no. These guys, no, they should not be recognized. Pick and choose? Yeah, that's what it is. So what do you expect? Do you expect Putin to play by the rules? And he's, why would he? He is what he is. The other guys are what they are. That's the way things work. Blackmail, threats. And they just pretend that they follow the UN charter and this and that and international law. When they don't care, they just trample it. One more examples? Iraq, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, Yugoslavia, as I said. All those are examples of international law, right? Invasions. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.